Hey guys, if your business depends on work being performed by subcontractors, you need to listen up because without proper risk transfer and agreements, your business could be held responsible for their bad work. There's really two main things that control that relationship: the certificate of insurance and the subcontractor agreement. That being said, the certificate of insurance is a little bit less important than the subcontractor agreement, as the agreement outlines what's legally required versus the COI, which is really just proof of coverage, not a guarantee. Hey guys, so we're going to start with the sub-agreement. Now, keep in mind, I am not an attorney. If you're going to use one, you need to have a construction attorney review this document very carefully. This is what's going to hold water in a court case or get thrown out. So, absolutely critically important to have this reviewed by a construction attorney. So the main reason that the sub-agreement is so important is it has the indemnity wording, which requires the subcontractor to hold you harmless for any work they perform. Without this document being signed prior to a loss, the subcontractor's policy might not fully cover them and you the way it should if this document was signed in advance. Now, a sub-agreement can really be looked at in two ways, or two parts, if you will. The first part is a ton of legal jargon saying that they are going to hold you harmless, and basically they're 100% responsible for anything that they do, and you have zero responsibility for their work. Sounds good, right? Well, that is awesome. The second part is really the limits of insurance that you are going to require of them. Now, that could vary based on their trade, based on the size of the job, but at the bare minimum, you would want to have them have at least $1 million CGL policy. Now, once again, I do highly recommend that you consult with a construction attorney to properly craft your subcontractor agreement. If you need recommendations, we do have a couple of attorneys that we've worked with in the past and had good success. I'm happy to give you their names and number. With that being said, let's move on to the certificate of insurance, kind of the next step in your risk transfer to your subcontractors. Now, the COI is super common. In fact, you probably send them out to everyone that you work on and most likely, hopefully, collect them from everyone that works from you. Hopefully. Guys, seriously, you need to do this. Stop relying on, oh, it's my buddy Joe, blah, 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 whatever. You need to get COIs and sub-agreements signed by every contractor, regardless of how long you've worked with them, how long you've known them, how good a friend they are. It doesn't matter. You need the coverage. Rant over, I'm sorry. Now here's the thing with COIs. A lot of people will put a lot of stuff on there that might not actually be there. Just this last week, in fact, I received a certificate of insurance from one of our subcontractors for one of my clients, and there were boxes checked on there that I know they didn't have the coverage for. But that agent went ahead and checked those little boxes, put the additional insured wording in there, all that stuff to, quote, comply with the requirements. Now, because I happen to know that insurance company and their policies and blah, 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 I know they don't have the coverage. But if you just looked at their certificate of insurance, you'd think, oh, good to go. Don't trust the COI. Don't trust the COI. Now, granted, the COI is important, and I'm not discounting that. However, you need to get a full copy of the policy and really do a good review because the COI could say stuff that really doesn't exist. Now, there is a tool that we've developed which can really help make that process easier, and we call that our COI checklist. What this checklist does is really give you a few key things to look at so you or an assistant or office manager, whoever you want to give that duty to, can pretty quickly and easily review based on that project, that trade, whatever you want to do, what's required, what boxes need to be checked, what endorsements they need to see, etc. Now, this can make a 30-minute job about a 10-minute job. So highly recommend you take advantage of our COI checklist. It'll really make the job a lot easier. Now, the key to using that document correctly is coming up with your guidelines ahead of time. So for this job, let's say you're building out an office building. And for that job, you want everyone to have a $5 million umbrella. Well, you need to put that on the checklist so that your assistant, or once again, whoever is doing the work, can look at it quickly and say, for this job, we require this, 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 this. Really makes it super easy and efficient to get that job done. Once again, just because it's on the COI does not mean the coverage is actually there. So even though I'm going to tell, in that checklist, you're going to say, oh, check this box, check that box, you really do want to see a full copy of the policy and know what is actually in there. Now, if you're interested in getting a copy of our sample sub-agreement or the COI checklist, all you have to do is go to our website and give us your email address and we'll shoot that right over to you. Free of charge, no, we're not going to hold you hostage or anything like that, but really recommend you go ahead and do that and get those free tools for your use. If you're interested in downloading the documents, navigate over to our website. We have them all available for you. All you gotta do is give us your email address and we're happy to send them right over to you. That being said, if you have further questions after looking over the documents, don't be afraid to reach out. I love talking about this stuff and I look forward to hearing from you.